A mum who fell 20 feet on 2 rocks on a cliff at Newquay has tracked down the homeless hero she credits with saving her life and helping her turn it around. Sam Wilde, 50, says she would not be here today if not for Danny Cheeseman, who had been living in a tent on the cliffs of the seaside town when she suffered a bit of a midlife crisis on Good Friday last year. The teaching assistant drove down from Birmingham with her friend and parked up on the cliff top at Tower Headland, reports Cornwall Live. Seeing a group of people partying around a campfire nearby, she decided to join them. A few beers later and all she remembers is her foot began to slip and she woke up in a heap at the bottom of the cliff. Danny Cheeseman was homeless and living in a tent when he saved Sam Wilde's life. Image Cornwall Live WS. Sam had fallen around 20 feet on 2 rocks at Little Fistral. It was pitch black. Her head was bleeding with gashes to the front and back. She was concussed but very lucky to be alive. I was drunk. I didn't see the edge. I just went right over it, she said. Luckily the tide wasn't too high and there was a little ledge that caught me at the bottom, but it could have been so much worse. I was half concussed, crying and hurting. I was a complete mess, lying there not knowing what to do. The people I was with were trying to help but they weren't much use. They were drunk too. Danny, 33, was working at the stable bar on Fistral and had just returned to his little pink tent perched on the cliff top, where he was staying after splitting with his girlfriend, when he heard a scream. He ran over to see Sam at the bottom of the cliffs. Without a second thought for his own safety, he scrambled down to help her. She was a mess at the bottom of the cliff, said Danny. She was in a heap and she had blood coming out of her head. I had to grab her by her belt and haul her up. Sam, pictured with her dog Christy, credits the incident as the moment she turned her life around. Image Cornwall Live WS. Sam was conscious, but helpless. She couldn't move. Luckily, Danny was tall and strong enough to pull her and drag her over the top. Sam remembers nothing but his posh voice as he talked to her, trying to keep her calm and persuade her to let him call an ambulance. She refused. Instead, he took her to her car and checked on her every hour through the night. The next morning, Sam felt awful but she left without ever seeing the mystery man who'd saved her life. I couldn't bring myself to go back and say thank you because I felt too ashamed, she said. I've got a couple of kids. I was having a bit of a midlife crisis. It was just a terrible thing that I'd done. Sam put an appeal out on Facebook to try and find the man who saved her life. Image Cornwall Live WS. The pair have reunited at the spot where Sam fell on Good Friday 2017. Image Cornwall Live WS. Instead, Sam disappeared back to Birmingham. But when she got home, she realized she needed to find the man and say thank you. I tried everything. I posted in the Newquay Facebook group and contacted John Goodman, who runs the group, to ask if anyone knew the man with the posh voice in the pink tent. I've been down to Newquay several times and every time since, I've been asking if anyone knows him, but no one could help me. On her 50th birthday, Sam returned to the spot where she almost died and lit a fire and threw flower grenades over the cliff. Sam Wilde had a campfire on the cliff on her 50th birthday. Image Cornwall Live WS. Then last week, she pulled up at the same spot where she'd fallen over the cliff and got talking to a couple about what happened, and they immediately recognized her description of the man with the posh voice as one of the friends. They told Sam to return to the same spot at 4 p.m. and said should find Danny there. I was back and there he was, she said. It was just brilliant. I gave him a massive hug. I bought him a few beers and we just hung out. We had just a lovely evening. Danny, who now lives in a van at Pentire and has a job as a web developer in Newquay, invited Sam back to the van to spend the evening with him and his girlfriend. Danny said, I didn't expect anything but to see her come back and see how happy she was amazing. I think anyone would have done the same thing. Sam says the incident has completely changed her life. She's changed her name, set up her own company as a forest school teacher and has resolved to move to Cornwall as soon as she can.